Hello and welcome to this special report from OTT Wrestling. I am your host, Aonghus McAnally, and joining me is the benchmark in Irish wrestling, the import killer, Jordan Devlin. Devlin, thank you for taking the time to come and chat to us today.
No problem,
I'll get right to it. I spoke to you after Tala, and it's a long time since I've seen you that angry. You were legitimately pissed off that night.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I was more than happy to go into this match now, October 26th with Devlin Starr, without saying another word. I thought everything that needed to be said was said in Tala. And I just couldn't listen to it anymore. Any more of his fake propaganda, his little agenda that he was in minute 3 or 4 ranting about. So I had to come out and say something. I was backstage in Tala and I realised what he was doing. And it wasn't just what he was normally doing and trying to sell t-shirts. He was getting his excuses in early because he knows he's going to lose. And that's what he does. He's trying to paint this picture of the brave, valiant David Starr versus Jordan Devlin with the might of a multi-billion-dollar company behind him. But he knows that the only reason he's going to lose to me on October 26th is that I am a superior wrestler in every single aspect, bar one. He can work a microphone better than I can. He has this ability, Aonghus, this weird, dangerous ability to point his finger at somebody and say something that people believe in. So he can turn around to me, the longest reigning OTT world champion, and call me a sellout. And a small minority of OTT fans will think that's true, independent of facts. Because here are the facts. You have me here now. I'm going to lay down some facts for you. December 2016, I signed for the WWE. And in that time, I have been the most prevalent, the most present member of the OTT roster. I've missed a handful of shows in 3 years. In that time, I've been the highest performing member of this roster. In that time, Aonghus, I brought some of the most talked about, most famous storylines in independent pro wrestling to OTT's doorstep. I had the 2018 European Match of the Year in Shore Road. People don't need to travel anymore to see 5-star wrestling, to see classics. They come to OTT. Wrestlers all over the world heard about OTT and want to come here now because this is where the best independent professional wrestling in the world is. I'm not saying that's just me, but I'm saying that I'm not doing that because I have 3 letters behind my back protecting me. I'm doing that because OTT is my home. It's my bread and butter. They gave me a chance at my start in wrestling. OTT fans cheered for me when no one knew who I was. So I couldn't do all this. I couldn't have the 2 long title reigns without OTT at the centre of my heart, in the centre of my mind. I don't do it because I have WWE behind me. I do it because this is my home and these are my people that I wrestle for.
It gets you fired up, doesn't it? Because this sellout thing particularly gets you fired up because the whole point is the lifestyle, the career that you now have in the world of pro wrestling has facilitated you coming on from already a very accomplished fighter who'd done things internationally. We know about the Japan run. You were a very solid fighter. But the Jordan Devlin 2.0 that we witness now is streets ahead of that old fighter.
Exactly.
And so, as you say, you've brought top-class pro wrestling and these incredible feuds with incredible global figures to their doorstep here in Dublin. And for that, you're labelled a sellout.
Not in spite of WWE, because WWE, they let me give up my job in sales and devote every second of my life to wrestling. It's not a coincidence that I'm 10 times the wrestler I am now. It's because I've been afforded the ability to go and make myself better, to polish myself up to a high shine, to come back and wrestle twice a month, every month in front of OTT fans. It's the best of both worlds.
Well, I think there's a serious argument for that. There's also an argument that potentially you are going into this fight for the first time not as an underdog, but you're going in as a favourite.
Hot favourite. No doubt in my mind. Not one shred of doubt. Hot favourite.
How does that affect you mindset-wise and preparation-wise? Because we know the usual fire that's there for Jordan Devlin going into a fight like this. Now, with David Starr, A, there's a chance you might go in and fighting angry rather than fighting smart. And B, you are going in as a favourite.
That's fine with me. I've gone away. For every world title fight I've had, I've been the underdog. The match against Walter, when I was fighting for the title, he beat me. I went away, I trained, I came back, I won. I never made an excuse. I never talked myself up. I just did. Actions speak louder than words. So my actions on October 26th are going to speak louder than words. I'm going to beat David Starr, not because I begged for this match, not because I wanted this match. I am going to beat David Starr and prove I'm a man of my words. I'm going to beat him.
Your preparation for fights like this is becoming a bit legendary. I mean, you tailor your fight camps very specifically for your opponent. When we look at the Zack Sabre Jr. fight, it was a huge amount of flexibility work and yoga work, so that if and when you ended up in one of those submission holds, you had the flexibility to ride it out and counter. We saw famously with the Walter fight just how much dedication you put into your hands and your boxing game. I noticed something recently from a conversation we had. You've piled on like more than half a stone of lean muscle in the last little while in preparation for this fight. Is this specifically to counter David Starr, and is it because you want to throw hands on him? Because whilst he is incredibly skilled on the mat, he doesn't have the striking prowess that you have. End of story.
No, listen, I remember the first time I put on a little bit of size for fight was against Matt Riddle. I knew he was going to throw me around. I wanted to make it harder for him. The Zack Sabre fight, you're right, I became more flexible and more adept at my mat wrestling. And then the Walter fight, I added boxing to my training. David Starr is a very, very unlucky man that now he's come up against somebody that has all three of these aspects. The recent size that I've put on, I dedicate to just how often and how intense I train in the gym.
Yeah.
Just because I want to hurt him. That's why.
It is that simple for you, isn't it?
I want to shut his mouth permanently. And it doesn't matter to me if I have to stretch him on the ground, doesn't matter if I have to break his jaw with a punch or even drop him on his head with a package pod, whatever. I am walking out of the National Stadium with 26 with the title above my head. That's all that matters to me. It doesn't matter how I beat him, just that I do beat him.
Has it affected you somewhat to see that some members of the OTT fans have not necessarily sided with him, but maybe have bought into his mantra, bought into his message about you, that you know that he's now that you're the import and he's the import killer? Does that affect you?
No, not really, to be honest. I would be pretty hypocritical if it did, because I bought into it at one stage. I was his friend, you know, before I start taking a step back and listening to what he's really saying. David Starr is a great talker and a shy talker. So all his little nicknames that he's given himself, daily wrestling, the product, the Jewish canon, what does that? None of that means anything. These are just nicknames that he's given himself. Every nickname I have, I've earned. And that's the difference between the two of us.
Well, if his time for talking is up, we're going to give you one more opportunity to talk now. Any final words for David Starr?
No, I don't want to talk anymore. Thanks, Anna.